If 22 people were suing me, I'd be terrified. Somehow, Deshaun Watson turns that into a new job opportunity, a better job opportunity. The NFL is f***ed up. Hey, welcome back to Odd Man Sports. I'm your host, Brandon Perna. I also host another YouTube show called That's Good Sports. So subscribe to this channel and that channel. On this week's show, a look at the comings and goings of NFL free agency, a peek inside my actual bathroom, and a breakdown of the insane tock of the Russell Wilson trade. We've got Dinks and Dunks. The NFL's legal tampering period kicked off at noon on Monday with a flurry of big money moves, including Christian Kirk and Brandon Scherf signing with the Jaguars. Meanwhile, Tuesday kicked off legal flirting with your wife's sister, or so I thought. But it turns out I was wrong about that one. My apologies, Amy. In other football news, Daniel Luna, the 49ers fan who was brutally beaten in the SoFi Stadium parking lot during the NFC Championship game, is out of a medically induced coma. Doctors say the 40-year-old fan is extremely fortunate because he got to skip all of the Tom Brady retirement nonsense. Speaking of which, after Brady announced his return, the Bucs quickly re-signed his center, Ryan Jensen, my Pueblo alum, to a 3-year, $39 million deal. And after the deal was announced, Jensen tweeted, "Well, I guess I better order some more baby powder," which is a reference apparently to how Brady prefers his centers to have a dry ass crack so his hands don't get slippery. And just hearing me say that out loud, all of a sudden $39 million seems awfully low. Perhaps no NFL team is undergoing a more significant roster overhaul than the Chicago Bears under first-year GM Ryan Poles. On Friday, the team released longtime defensive lineman Eddie Goldman, as well as running back Tariq Cohen. Said this blind Chicago rabbi, "Cohen and Goldman? Well, at least we still have Zach LaVine." Shh, nobody tell him. In other big news, Cleveland, the Browns released wide receiver Jarvis "Juice" Landry, which led many fans to recall Landry's memorable Hard Knocks speech, in which, I think, if I have this right, Landry warned his teammates about the dangers of chlamydia.
It's contagious, bro. Like, it's really fucking contagious. It's contagious.
It's very contagious. That's just a good reminder. And for those wondering why Landry goes by the nickname Juice, well, he addressed it in a 2015 tweet saying, "Got the name when I was in college because of my energy and my passion. The guys I played with called it Juice." Oh, so not because you murdered your ex-wife and waiter. The more you know, right? March Madness is upon us, which means a couple things. One, don't forget to click on the link below to enter the March Mayhem giveaway for a chance to win one of these 4 prize packages. And the other thing, March Madness means, well, plenty of Jay Billis on my TV. Question, am I the only one that thinks Jay Billis is way, way sexier than the sexiest man alive? South Dakota State over Providence, Norfolk State in the Sweet 16. You keep talking, old blue eyes. And my bracket won't be the only thing busting over here. In women's basketball news, Brittany Griner remains in detention in Russia after allegedly trying to smuggle hashish oil through the airport, which has raised numerous questions, like, with tensions continuing to rise between the United States and Russia amid the invasion of Ukraine, could Griner's detainment be used as a political tool to create leverage given her prominent status? And also, considering the crazy risk she was willing to take, should I try some hash? Russell Westbrook's on-court struggles have continued, and Recently, the Lakers guard had some harsh comments for fans who were heckling him.
I don't mind the criticism of missing and making shots, but I can no longer allow people, for example, Westbrook to me is now shaming, like it's shaming my name.
They're calling me Westbrook. Defend me. Numerous Hoopers came to Russ's defense, saying the play on his family name was unacceptable, including Warriors guard Steph Curry and Connecticut Sun forward DeWanna Boner. And finally, Greg Popovich passed Don Nelson as the winningest coach in the history of the NBA, which is quite an achievement. Though Nelson, he remains the coolest coach in the history of the NBA, based entirely on his answer to a press conference question years after his retirement in 2017.
Can each of you talk briefly about what you've been doing after basketball?
Yeah, I've been smoking some pot, actually.
Money talks. If there's one question I get more than any other from aspiring sports content creators, it's how do you come up with all of your ideas? And that's a great question. But the reality is I spend a huge amount of time thinking on the toilet. Partly because it's a great place to think. Partly because it allows me to avoid my family. And for a peek behind the lid, I recorded video of my process for a new segment I think we'll call On the Pot Thoughts. Whenever I'm not sure how I feel about an issue, I'll research what Draymond Green thinks. And I know it's the opposite of that. How is the Super Bowl trophy not shaped like a bowl? I really think a better name for sake bomb is Japan Slam. Karl Malone was called the mailman because he always delivered. But since he was a great post player, shouldn't he be called the postman? Family Christmas cards are a good annual reminder of which of your friends are batshit crazy. Doesn't it feel like the word ribs is short for something? I'd be a really bad NFL team owner because if my team were playing in the Super Bowl, I'd be stressing the entire time about the cost of those ridiculous Super Bowl rings. I bet Louis C.K. is pissed about the end of COVID masks. Odd man out! The Russell Wilson trade is officially official, which means this footage of Paxton Lynch throwing a football is no longer going to haunt my dreams. Now, while many have been surprised that Wilson's trade from the Seahawks had been discussed for weeks, apparently the reality is it actually goes back much longer than that, all the way to Josh Allen's pro day in Wyoming.
All eyes were on Josh Allen and the city of Laramie at Wyoming's NFL Pro Day.
So, how could Allen throwing without pads in 2018 lead to Russell Wilson sporting a Broncos jersey in 2020? Well, I'm gonna tell ya, because on that fateful day over 4 years ago, this 7-second clip of video emerged. Josh Allen displaying the kind of arm strength that will make him a top 5 NFL quarterback? Yes, but also because it evokes Kevin Costner's performance in JFK.
So what really happened that day? Let's just for a moment speculate, shall we?
Oh, we shall, because breaking down the 7-second Allen clip frame by frame like the Zapruder film reveals an interesting development in the Russell Wilson saga. At first glance, Allen firing a piss missile in front of a handful of anonymous NFL personnel. But if we freeze the tape right here, we see a man in a white turtleneck and black vest. And while unexplainable from a fashion standpoint, this detail is insignificant. But as the camera tracks Allen, the emergence of a short, pudgy man in a blue and white hat is revealed. Zooming in on this figure, we see what appears to be John Schneider, general manager of ding ding ding, the Seattle Seahawks. Big deal, right? A GM's job is to evaluate as much incoming talent as he can, regardless of his team's current personnel. But according to Sports Illustrated, after this footage emerged, Wilson's agent called Schneider and asked if Wilson had anything to worry about. Schneider responded that they didn't, but apparently Wilson's camp did not believe him. And after seeing Schneider's wandering eye caught on camera, the damage was done. The ensuing 4-year fallout between Wilson and the Seahawks has been well publicized. But here's where things get spicy. Tony, give me some music that I can groove to. Oh yeah. According to SI at the Senior Bowl in February, soon after Peyton got on the ground in Mobile, Alabama, came a text from Schneider asking him to meet at the Battle House Hotel, which I've taken the liberty of recreating. Schneider to Peyton: too many people around. Meet at Battle House Hotel, 4 p.m. Peyton to Schneider: Segs? Schneider to Peyton: no, Wilson, trade details. Peyton to Schneider: right, see you there. 4 minutes later, Peyton to Schneider: was totally kidding about the Segs thing. Ha ha ha, LOL, ha ha ha. And according to the same article, while in Indianapolis for the Combine, the two GMs, they continued to have secret rendezvous in hotel rooms, quiet conference areas, and out-of-the-way Indianapolis bars. Oh yeah is right. Finally, on Monday, it was consummated. The trade I'm talking about, of course, the Russell Wilson trade. And Wilson officially became a Bronco. Back to the regular music, Tony. The big takeaway here for pro sports personnel, whether it's KD and Kyrie chatting in a hallway, or Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick watching Mac Jones overthrow a receiver at the Combine, everything you say or do in public can and will be recorded, analyzed, and overanalyzed. So let me give you the same advice I'd give to Mr. PDA himself, Russell Wilson. Get a room. Alright, that's it for today. Don't forget to sign up for the March Mayhem and head over to thegameday.com for all of the best odds on your college hoops bets. Start the madness! Start the madness! See you next week on Man Sports.
It's in the game.